So my last episode of With Respect was with my friend Michael, and I know him because he's a member of another club within our Taekwondo club's organization, and we've sort of met each other at competitions and gradings and stuff, and he's just a really cool guy. He's nice to talk to. In his With Respect episode, we talked about how he really wants to be a more active competitor, but he hasn't really got a great deal of sparring experience because they don't have a lot of people at his club who even have sparring equipment, which is kind of unusual to me, but happens sometimes. And there's just not a lot of people there who are really sparring focused. People get into martial arts for all sort of reasons. They want to do it for fitness, for traditional information, knowledge type stuff. They just want to make friends and be social, and people like patterns. But he just really wants to get better at sparring, and we are a very fighting focused club at my Taekwondo club. So I invited him to come down for a session, and we decided to do that last week. It's not very often that he can get Sunday off work because he works in a bar, so it was really nice that he could actually find the time, and he says he's going to again in the future because it went really well. He had to come down to Bolton, and it turned out that even though I had told him that the address and the regular times were in my Discord server that he's in, it's also linked in the description if anyone else wants to come join us, he actually went to where is listed on the Google My Business listing. My instructor hasn't changed in a while because he ended up going to the wrong venue. Luckily, it's quite close, and he had his bike, so he was able to cycle over relatively quickly as a bit of an extra warm-up. I ended up having to send him my Google Maps location so he could track me to get here, and he arrived just after we'd finished our own warm-up, so the class sort of had already started, but we let him have his own warm-up while we were getting our gear on, and it was just a whole sparring session because he had told my instructor beforehand. By the way, his name is Michael, my instructor's called Mick, do not be confused. He just got his gear on while we were getting our equipment on, and my instructor Mick sort of gave him a little intro like, hey, how you doing, what you wanted to get out of the session, all that sort of stuff. I had already planned on recording the session, but when the day came, I just completely blanked out, didn't pack my camera, didn't pack my laptop, didn't pack anything. So I didn't really have an option to show you guys much footage. But I realized this just as we were getting started and we were only a few rounds of sparring in, and our new white belt is a lovely guy called Steven, who has actually been watching these videos, so yeah. He took it on himself to record some of the sessions while he was swapped out. So we had an odd number of people taking part, so we would do 2 pairs sparring, so then we could split the room in half, and that was our area. And then while he was off, he would record some clips. Now I haven't actually looked at these clips yet, so I'm going to react to them in real time on camera to you. And then if there's anything that I want to mention that isn't brought up from them, then I'll just cover that separately. He sent me them on WhatsApp, and this is literally the first time I'm looking at them, so I'm going to look at them on my phone down here. There is one thing I really hope he got, which is literally the first video after we had this idea to start recording. So we had done a few rounds of hands only, and then we did a few rounds of legs only, and then we did some hands and feet, and then we were just into normal sparring. But once we started incorporating legs, I can't remember if this was legs only or hands and legs, but I think it was legs only. And so I had done a turning kick, a hook kick, and then I just sort of held my leg chamber up to see if you could get around it. I was partnered with Michael to see if he could get around it, and then he just came at me, so I just popped out from the chamber a little side kick, by extending my hip and pivoting it the other way. It wasn't even a full it wasn't even a back leg wind up full chamber side kick. It was a hovering in chamber and then pop it out. And then Michael was on the floor, and I did feel bad because he's a lower belt than me. He's specifically come because he wants more sparring experience. He's a bit sparring inexperienced. So in the class there was me, my instructor Mick, who is 2 belts higher than me, and he's been a 4th dan for ages. So I've told him he needs to grade so I don't catch him up. And then I was the second highest there, so I'm there as a 2nd dan. And then it was Michael was the next highest belt, but like we said, not very sparring experience. He's red tag. And then there was Jen, who I think she's a blue tag now, but she hasn't got her blue tag belt yet. We're still waiting on that to be delivered, which ideally you get it on the day, but whatever. So she's mid intermediate range, and she's really good at experienced at sparring, so me and Jen challenge each other quite a lot, and basically the entire time she's been training it's been with just black belts really, so just people senior to her is a good advantage. And then we had Steven, who it was his first session sparring Taekwondo ever. He did used to do Muay Thai when he was younger, but he had quite a lot of time out, and he decided to rejoin because he wanted to recommit to his fitness, and he's been really dedicated, which is really cool. Once man knows technique, he got it. His body just needs to catch up with the stamina, so man was chill, taking a hit. But because I was one of the more senior people, I was going relatively easy on half of the room. Not because I'm going easy on it, because it's a sign of respect to give people a challenge. But the person you're going against is that changes the definition of what a challenge is. You don't want to completely knock out someone who is just matter-of-factly not at your skill level, because I've been doing this the vast majority of my life. But at the same time, Michael's like a belt where he's gonna have to start sparring for his gradings if he's not already done one already, and he needs to be able to learn to take a hit. But like that wasn't a really hard hit, but he was like down, and I felt really bad because it was like still really on in the session. I didn't want him to feel like demoralized or anything. But it looked like a really cool hit, so I want the clip of it. Also, literally no one looks good in sparring it, and I hate this. Okay, right, so he's putting on his glove. And his gloves aren't really worn in enough yet that he can just take his hand in and out of it, so he has to put it on and do like the awkward wraparound thing. So I decided to just help him so we didn't like lose time on the round. Okay, yeah, okay. Do we get it? Do we get it? Oh, I went off camera right away and I think that's the one. Okay, no, he's not down yet. He's not down. Camera's being repositioned. That was it. Oh my god, we got it. It was literally just as it's repositioned. Okay, wait. Literally the first clip. Let me see. So side kick, turning kick, and then side kick again. Oh no, he's just down. Oh, you could even see on my face. I was like, I'm a psycho who will smile while I'm literally getting hit in the face. So like, don't read too much into that. But like, I was sort of like, oh my god, bless you. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Can you get up? Are you okay? He gets up much faster in the video than I realized, and then he like takes a minute to recover. It was literally that kick that made me start thinking about like, is he bracing properly? And like, that was one of the things we went into later. Like, I'm skipping ahead now. But, like, that was one of the things we went into later, which was, like, you need to know how to take a hit. So you have this thing called a kihapp in Taekwondo. And kihapp literally translates to the word shout. So when people tell you to kihapp at the end of a pattern, which, like, you're supposed to kihapp for every move to emphasize the strength of the move, but more at the end, you know, for emphasis. But, like, people tell you to kihapp at the end of the pattern, you'll literally hear people go, kihapp! Or, like, they'll whistle, like, they'll make sounds. Like, there's one girl who I've never met her, but I know it's the same girl because it's the most unique whistling sound I've ever heard at multiple competitions, and I can always tell when she's there. But it's like a shh, shh, shh. Or you hear the people going, ha, ha, ha. Like, you know the cliched karate, like when you say you do martial arts, people start going, hi-ya, hi-ya. Like, all that sort of nonsense. It comes from the concept of a kihapp, which is the word shout in Korean. But you're not actually supposed to say kihapp. Like, some people even shout the name of the pattern that they've just completed, which, like, I think is a bit cringy, to be honest, but you know, whatever, people do what they want. But the idea of a kihapp is it's supposed to create a sort of like an air chamber in your stomach, so it tenses up your sternum. It's like you're not breathing from your chest, you're breathing from your stomach almost. So it's like you're creating tension in order to absorb force in your soft bits of your body, really, like when your rib cage isn't protecting it, like around there. So I sound like a dude when I kihapp, but it goes like like, and the idea of a is like it's supposed to withstand the force as you're like, it's literally like right here, like like that. I don't know if you can even see it because I'm so pale and like the camera's a bit weird, but like you're supposed to be able to see it tense up like that. And I literally sound like a dude, but like I can tank insane shots because of my kihapping ability. But like I felt like Michael was just taking it, and like I could feel my foot like be absorbed in his stomach. Like there was no resistance. You can feel when resistance is happening, and that's when people are like so like when you block someone effectively enough, you could numb out their hand because they've been hurt. If you are like parrying, it takes it out of the way. If you're just eating a shot, then you can still injure people if they hit you because you're creating enough force and resistance. So that's the idea of a kihapp. But like if you just watch the video back, then like he just doesn't, bless him. And like he gets up right away. Like he gets up immediately. And like Michael is not like he's not one to be demotivated, not one to be demoralized. I really hope that I didn't like I feel like I broke through, right? I feel like I literally broke through so he felt more comfortable getting in combat, because like there's a thing when you're getting into sparring, you have to get comfortable with being hit. Like you factually have to. If you're in martial arts, I believe you have to get comfortable with being hit, even if you're not really into the competitive fighting area like we are. Like we're a very comp focused group, honestly, at my club now. I feel like we've almost bred a culture of that because I'm so addicted to it. But like we're into competing at our place. Even the ones who aren't necessarily like sparring focused, they like the idea of coming to competitions. Even if you're not into that, you have to be comfortable getting hit, because that's what self-defense is. If you're in self-defense to learn to protect yourself, what you're protecting yourself from. You can't like just decide, oh my god, someone's gonna punch me, I must now KO them immediately. You're probably gonna take one or two before you decide that self-defense in that nature is even necessary. So like you have to get used to being hit. But like, he had this sort of mental barrier of like, you got to engage, like, you know, we got to actually engage fight or flight mechanisms sometimes. Like, I sometimes need a big thwack. I've said it before. I need one good one, and then I'm go, oh, we're fighting now. Okay, got it. So I feel like I helped with that. And then after we'd had a few rounds, I could tell that Michael was actually getting more enthusiastic. He was like taking more shots without really like pausing to digest it. He was throwing more creative moves. Like, he got some axe kicks and crescent kicks in towards the end, and I was like, was that a headshot with an axe kick from Michael? And I was like really proud of him for it. I was. And then the first time he actually hit me back, I think this was a hands and feet round. I think it was a hands and feet round. The first time he actually landed one on me back, he looked at me and he started to apologize, and he was like, oh my God. And then, but I just cut him off like halfway through even the first word, and I went, don't you dare apologize to me. And his eyes were like he, later on, he told me he felt like he'd been scolded, and I was like, I'm not trying to scold you, I'm trying to encourage you. Like, you hit me, you're here to hit me. Shockingly, this is what this session is about, is learning to hit people, and you hit me. Someone who, like, he is told is like a good example role model in the past, which, like, it feels weird saying that about myself, but other people have said it about me, so I'm like parroting. I don't know, it's weird. But like, he hit me, and I was happy that he hit me, and I was proud of him. Something I do with like a lot of kids, actually, like, we've had kids at our club before. We don't have any like regular kids right now, but like, we've had kids at our club, and they are terrified to hurt me. And I'm like, whatever you give me, I've had worse. I think Mick actually said that to Stephen, and he was like, don't worry, mate, she can take it. Which, like, yeah, I can. When we get someone who is scared to hit me, I did it one time with another lady in our club, Fosia, who, like, she's not very sparring focused, but I feel like she's actually got more ability than she's really unleashed yet, because she only really like started sparring regularly when she started coming to group classes regularly. She like mainly did private with our instructor for ages, but like, I say to them, I'm not going to do anything before we even start the round, just hit me. Like, literally, I'm telling them to like just plant a shot on my body. Like, no one's ever gone for the face when I've made that suggestion, which is like, I guess good, but they could do that if they wanted. But like, if someone seems nervous to actually try and hit me, and they're like, oh, I don't want to injure you, I don't want to like do anything bad, and it's like, you won't. And also, if you do, I signed up for it. So, you know, but we're getting distracted. Let's go back into the video. Also, shout out to Jen and Mick doing around in the background. But yeah, he gets up. We have a little digest moment. He reassembles his gear. He puts his belt back on tighter. And then we're going again before the round is over. And I'm moving. Like, after that one, I really let him come to me. A bit of hesitation I'm seeing. Just a little bit. I can't tell if he was trying to fake or if he like cancelled out that kick, and now we've gone off camera again, but Jen's going. Nice one. Stephen was like really trying to follow us, bless. And I think that was when he went to landscape and he realized like, oh, if we can just like get the whole room in it. Landscape is always better. I'm just gonna say that. I always record in landscape where possible, and when I ask people to record my competition videos, I try and tell them to record in landscape, but like a lot of the time they don't. Okay, yeah, side kicks, Fury reverse. Okay, throw some combos. I do remember telling him never to start an engagement with a reverse, and that's just because it's way too telegraphed. You're giving people far too much time to react to you. Reverses are great for counters, or if you're in like a flow exchange. He's done like a few sidekick, reverse sidekick, which like is not bad. But if you're doing that, someone literally just needs to go off to the side, and then they've already avoided you. When you're not the only person on a mat, then it's kind of like easier to get sucked into the back and forth of it all. Okay, here's a round with me and Jen. And then Mick and Michael are sort of having chats in the back, like is more instructory. Like, whenever I'm with someone who obviously has come to learn and improve and get more comfortable, I try and feed in more feedback, as opposed to like just a sparring session where you're like testing each other a bit more. Me and Jen love to have challenges, and Jen fights in a way that like, she's still a relatively intermediate belt, but she's very advanced for her grade. There are just a few things I call her out on, like fighting backwards. Like, she fights kind of arse first. So, like, she can't see her opponent coming a lot of times, and we, like, lose contact a lot of the time. Sometimes she grabs. Well, I think during this session, she actually grabbed my foot while it was up next to her head, and I'm like, that's not allowed. Stop that. But, like, she gets some really solid shots on me a lot of the time. Like, she can really plant heads. Like, she plants in my head quite a solid amount. And whenever Mick gets me, it's always on the nose as well. I had like a throbbing nose pain for about 2 days after training because Mick got me like on a proper hard nose shot. But it was so fun as well. Yeah, Jen's doing a lot of like backwards kicks, reverse side kicks. Reverse hook. I don't even know if it's a reverse hooking because she's just facing away from me, so it's like almost a back leg hooking, but like not. Turning kicks, a very lateral plane. And then, like, I try and get my foot up in Jen's head because I know I can do it and have done it in the past, but she's very tricky for clashing with me. So she'll, like, basically cancel out a lot of what I'm doing. When a shorter person is fighting a taller person, your natural defense should be to get inside their arm range, like, within their leg at least, so you can, like, get your arm length and, like, close the distance, because then they, in theory, can't really get much at you unless they're crazy flexible to do axe kicks. Like, I do axe kicks when I'm, like, right up against someone, like here. I love doing it on heavy bags as well to practice, like really getting around those narrow spaces. But like I should be trying to use my hands on Jen, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I do like a front hand punch sometimes, like low. I kind of like expose myself above when I do that. I'm trying to work on that, but we will see. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Wait. So we were like it was towards the end of the round, right? And my leg was feeling really nimble because I've had like my dodgy hip, like my impinged hip for ages, and like the past 2 sessions it's been feeling more limber than it has in months. Yeah, what did I even do? Okay, so on one leg I feel like I did a turning kick. Let me really analyze this. Okay, so back leg jumping turning kick, reverse hooking kick, and then get a turning kick on the way down. But it was the reverse hooking kick that got her in the face. I wasn't even sure if we made contact when I did it, but I thought I felt contact, and she reacted like, whoa. Oh, that was so good. We're in such a small room, we don't really abide by normal boundaries that you would on a mat, so we just sort of go around. Oh, that was such a good combo. Oh, I like that. And then she tries to get an axe kick, like, whoa, fair play. Also, I'm going to bonk you now. I love it. Me and Jen are always hugging in class as well, because we're like, oh my god, badass. Like, neither of us has ever been upset about the other person getting a good shot in. We're just like, well done, you. Like, I had these kids. They weren't kids, they were teenagers, and like, we trained together for a good number of years. I was only a couple years older. It was like a set of siblings, and one of the siblings always fought whenever I was like sitting out for a second, because like I have nervous system issues, so like he would hit me so hard and I would block it, and I normally block it like up here or something on my shoulder because it's like a close call, or like with my hand maybe, but like usually something here, and my whole arm would numb out, so I'd like go out for a second because health and safety, and then I would sort of like shaking up, and then Mick asked me, because he's the instructor, are you all right while you're setting out? And I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm just getting feeling back. Like, I just go, oh no, yeah, he just like hit me, so I'm like gone numb for a second. And it doesn't mean anything, it's just open communication. And this guy got really pissy, like, oh, well, she hits me just as hard. And it's like, he thought I was complaining about him, and it's like, I'm really not. I was congratulating you. Like, I'll tell him like, oh, that was a really hard hit, nice one, and I'll actually say nice one or something, and he gets so defensive, and it's like, no, I'm trying to tell you, you got skills, guy. But he never quite grasped it, so he stopped training like when he went to university, I think it was. So I don't know if he stopped, he might just not train with us anymore, but he went to university and I never saw him again. But like, I love it when me and Jen can like absolutely clobber each other, and then we're just like, oh, besties. Also, shout out because Jen just got her first job as a PT. Yay. Okay, what else we got? Let's see. This is another one of me and Michael. Okay, and he's being more aggressive with me. Like, he's starting to get more creative, because Mick told him at one point that he's like basically a counter fighter right now, and he waits for his opportunity. But you can't be a perpetual counter fighter. Oh yeah, this was when we were doing like a rotate out kind of thing. You had 30 seconds with every single person, and the person in the middle had to like stay. And then we like swap the person in the middle, obviously, so they got the rest that they needed if you were the last round. But yeah, so like Mick's like, oh, you're a counter fighter now, which is really great, and it's like good for a defensive mechanism. But if someone gets ahead of you early on in the fight, you can now never win because you're just recovering points unless you get like really lucky. So like, you have to have times where you are the aggressor. So like, he's getting better at being the aggressor, but like, yeah, so we're the one in the middle. When you come on for your 32nd round, you're supposed to be trying to work the guy in the middle. Do you think Jen faints out a bit too much sometimes? But that's like just my personal opinion. Like, if you over faint, you get a bit boy who cried wolf, and it's like, well, when they actually gonna hit me? But it's also a good way of conserving your energy. I like playing mind games with my opponents. There is one thing I do which like, it's really difficult to execute because it requires the stars to align a little bit, but like, I double switch my stance really quick, and then the second switch back is with a technique, and that's like really fun when it works out, but it's really hard to make work. Which round is this one? Who is this? Is this me in the middle? Could be me in the middle, could be Mick. I'm being more aggressive, so I think it's Mick in the middle. Oh, I did ask Michael, like, he was terrified to go against me, apparently, because, like, of when he saw me and Mick, he was like, oh, it looked like you were trying to kill each other and I thought you were going to go ham on me. And I was like, no. I'm the only one that Mick like unloaded on properly. But I never really watch our fights back. And like, I feel like I look so sloppy when I'm fighting Mick. But like, he is my instructor for a start. If he wasn't a bit better than me at something, I would feel like I wasn't really getting my money's worth. But also, like, he's trained me since, yeah, this is definitely a mix round. He's trained me since I was 8 years old. I had 5 years out when I had my little meltdown, which we talked about in a few videos. But like, this man has trained me my entire life. I've done squad sessions with other instructors, I've gone and guested at other clubs, I've done seminars with other instructors, but this man is my instructor, and quite frankly, I intend to make him train me until the day he dies. And then like maybe I'll inherit his encyclopedia or something. But like, we know each other's patterns basically, but he's better at abusing my gaps in my abilities than I am at his, because like, you know, that's just how that goes sometimes, and he spends a lot more time watching me than I spend watching him. It's really fun when me and Mick spar, and I haven't got a lot of footage of us doing it together, so this makes me happy. Jen's doing quite good. We always worry about Jen kicking a smidge low with Mick, and I think there's one there, but like, she's being really aggressive and she's got good hand shots. That kick could have been good, but it was completely out of range. Good of hands. She's like good at smothering him with hands. Okay, then Mick v Michael. Good hands, Michael. Like, you kind of went maybe too many hands in a row, but like really good and aggressive, to be honest. Okay, good block and counter. He is being the aggressor. Mick's kind of running away and making him chase him, but that's because like we're trying to get Michael and Steven's stamina up. Like, that's a big goal, is to get the stamina up. Which, like, he did, by the way, he didn't cycle all the way from Oldham. He got the train and then cycled a bit from the train, just so we know. It's a shame we haven't got any of Stephen because he's recording on his phone. Next time we have, like, a guest session, I am going to definitely remember to record my whole thing, because I'll remember making this video and be like, don't forget. We were all getting a bit tired by this point, let's not even lie. Yeah, there we are, dying. And then that was all the clips. But no, I feel like it was a really good session. I do. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm kind of gutted that Fozia couldn't come. We're a very small club. I feel like if we could get like 1 or 2 more guests to come. We have this guy Kyle, who's like, he also trains at one of Master Lawrence's clubs, but he trains at the Liverpool one. So like, Michael will sometimes go to Liverpool from Oldham, but like, we're nice, healthy in between in Bolton. So we did invite all the other like organizations in our clubs. Well, like, it was originally organized as like a one-on-one social invite from me to Michael, and then it was like, oh yeah, everyone from our club knows him, so I'm like informing them. And then it was like, oh, let's try and get people from Liverpool and let's try and get people from Halifax as well. But like, he was the only one who was able to come on that particular date, so it wasn't like a seminar, it wasn't like a training seminar, but it was like interclub training, which is always really nice, because I have a video in the past where I talked about like not a lot of stuff happens in the Northwest or like just Northern Taekwondo community in the UK. So I'm actively trying to build that up a bit more, and our club is getting a little bit bigger now. It doesn't just feel like a couple people training in a hall anymore, because we lost so many in such a short stint of time. It literally came down to like 3 of us basically, including Mick, who's the instructor, for ages. So it really feels like we're getting a bit of a club vibe going on again, and I want to get that inter-club relationship going again. So I feel like it'd be really cool. Kyle's a pretty successful competitor, but I feel like he needs more confidence in himself. Like, one time I had to reteach him how to do a side kick chamber, which like front kick, side kick, turning kick is the first 3 kicks you learn as a white belt. And like the second I like reaffirmed it for him, he went off and won a gold medal. So hopefully that will keep happening in the future, and hopefully he can actually come. He's got like a new job that he's working out the scheduling for, but like, we're there every Sunday for 2 hours. We used to do multiple sessions a week for 1 hour, but then just because of like how our whole system worked out, we only have 1 right now. But hopefully if more people start coming more regularly, we can justify getting either a bigger hall or a hall with a bit more capacity on a different day. Fingers crossed it's one in Manchester, so I don't need to travel. But you know, whatever. Link in the description to my Discord server, where if you want to stop by, then you have the information on how to contact Mick to come join us at the session, and you have the address there. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching my little training debrief. Have a nice day. Goodbye.